Welcome to the virtual campground. I think we're live.
I'm alive. Are you alive?
I don't know. I feel like I'm doing pretty alive, but I am a little tired. But yeah, the energy is low. We're gonna have to bring it up.
Bring up the energy. I don't know how, but need crowd noise.
That's right. Oh, I don't have.
Don't have crowds.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. What happened to everything? There we go. That's better. Are we still live?
Is anybody out there? Let us know in chat. Do you have chat on?
I have chat right there.
Excellent.
All right.
All right.
Welcome to the virtual campground.
Hi.
And we are just going to pop on here for a little bit and talk about some some past.
We're going to talk about campgrounds.
Campgrounds that we've been to.
We've been in email. I usually mention where we've been in our email letter that goes out every Sunday. If you're not on it, please go to thevirtualcampground.com and sign up to be on the newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
But we usually talk about where we are, where we're going, and share some news. And people have said they wanted more information on our campgrounds. And in particular, we've been telling people that we stayed at this really cool campground that we want to give them more information on. So I thought today that's what we'll talk about, campgrounds.
I think that sounds lovely.
Anybody else has any thoughts on campgrounds or any that you have particularly enjoyed? We would love to hear about them as we start planning the rest of our year. And other people that are making plans, I know they like hearing, which campgrounds do you enjoy? In fact, today I got an email from a friend that's trying to find a campground up in North California, like San Francisco Redwood Forest area. So if anybody knows a good place up there, I know. I think it might be an RV park desert.
That's a tough one, yeah.
Kind of like here in Boulder is a RV park desert.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're trying to go to Northern California, I'd just say go all the way up to the Redwoods. Go all the way up to Yosemite.
Well, they're going past Yosemite. They're going to the Redwood Forest. Which is north of San Francisco.
They might be able to find some good stuff way up there.
They haven't so far, she said. Oh. So that's what, if anybody has any advice, please let us know.
That's right. All right. Okay, shall we get into it?
Sure. So we had a really kind of late start to our year. I mean, we did a lot of traveling in January, but it wasn't in the RV. Mm-hmm. So really the first campground we got to was in February, which is pretty late for us. We're usually on the road by then.
We were heading down to New Orleans, and there is a really cool campground on the way in Natchitoches, Louisiana, which is the City of Lights. But we weren't there for Christmas, so they didn't have a whole lot of lights going on.
No, but we have been there before for lights.
We have been there for Christmas and can highly recommend it.
I think there's a blog, in fact, with their pictures on our
Mm-hmm.
website. But yes, it's a beautiful little town. It's the oldest town in Louisiana. Did you know that?
I think I knew that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So it's a cute town to go visit. Lovely. And this campground is fairly new, like last 5 years or so, maybe.
Yeah, it's and it feels new. It's all really nicely maintained and really kind of lovely. So we have, this is our second time to stop there, and
might be our third.
Maybe our third. Okay, and really enjoyed it.
Hi, Steve.
Oh, hey, Steve. So Steve, for that person, has stayed at KOA in
Petaluma. Okay, I'll let Renetta know.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then we made our way on down to Bayou Segnet, which is just south of New Orleans on the West Bank, which is kind of confusing.
It's actually a state park.
It's actually a state park.
Bayou Segnet State Park.
And it's pretty lovely. I mean, you don't want to go there because of the showers. I can tell you that. The bathrooms are...
and sadly, you don't have full hookups. You do have electricity. Do we have water too?
Water.
Yeah, but not sewer. So we were there 2 weeks. So we were trying to be really cautious and use their showers, but it wasn't always a pleasant experience.
No, they definitely need better maintenance going on there. But they were struggling.
They had just had a shift in management.
Yeah,
but the campground is, I mean, it's a state park. It's just an older state park, let's put it that way. So it needs a little bit of love, but it's fascinating in that it is kind of in the middle of the bayou. Yeah. And so the cabins there are really cool. Yeah. They're right on the water.
Some beautiful cabins. Yeah. Those look very new, and they were, really neat. So if you want to go there and you don't have an RV, or you want to just get out of the RV for a few days, those cabins looked really cool.
But do be careful when you're planning a trip to Bayou Signet, picking your campsite, your camp.
Oh yeah.
We recommend, so it's kind of like a figure eight, and we recommend staying on the rounded parts of the eights, not the inside of the eights. They're pretty skinny. We watched one trailer have a very tough time getting into a spot because they don't give you a lot of leeway for the getting into the spot.
No, they don't. And we stayed near the middle last time, and it was our site was just full of water, and it wasn't the best situation. So yeah, stay on the outside. There's some that have lots of room.
Yeah. The one we ended up with this time that was, like I said, on the rounded parts of the eights, was we had lots of room and we had a great tree for me to hang out my hammock. Right. 2 trees to hang out my hammock. So I was delighted. Yeah. But anyway, yes, the campground itself with the showers, if you're there a week, no problem, right? But if you're there 2 weeks, you probably are going to end up using the bathrooms. And they did have a laundry room as well. The laundry room worked really pretty well, but it was always very crowded.
Yep.
So anyway, but that's Bayou Signet. The good thing about Bayou Signet is it is on the west bank.
Yep.
20 minutes
20 or so minutes
Bourbon
into
Street,
downtown.
maybe.
And so it's, really convenient from that perspective. People have also talked about the campground that's right in the French Quarter or right on the edge of the French Quarter. That's
it's under a bridge.
We haven't tried that one. People speak highly of it, but
we saw it when we were on the overpass.
Yeah, that's right. We went over it, but this one is really convenient to New Orleans.
Yes, the nice thing about Bayou Signet as opposed to the one that's right in town, in my opinion, is it does give you more access to going more easily to drive around to other things. When you're down there in New Orleans, it's just hard to drive. It's very crowded. And being on the other side of the West Bank, there are restaurants. There's a really great, right outside of the park, there's a really great fish market with very fresh fish. So, from that perspective, it's really nice. And like I said, if you're going to be there for a week, I highly recommend it. If you're going to be there 2 weeks, let's think about it.
Yeah.
That's all. But yeah, I think that was great. And why were we there?
We had some friends joining us for the Mardi Gras. So we had a good old time. We did a food tour,
which we highly
recommend. I haven't done one in New Orleans before, and this was a lot of fun.
We went to about 5 different restaurants and got to do their specialties. And each specialty came with a special cocktail as well. Yeah. So it was a lot of fun to just go down and these
hang
were
out
not
with
just taste tests; these were full-on cocktails.
Yeah, they were very
potent,
generous with their pours.
Yes, they were.
So we had a really good time doing that, and of course we went down there for the Mardi Gras. There's us down in the middle of it all. It was crazy, but it wasn't as bad as you thought it was going to be.
No, it wasn't. I have long avoided Mardi Gras because I hate crowds, get very nervous. But this was perfect. We what was the name of that street? Came up this street. We're able to find a nice shaded area right there. Hung out for a few hours. Then the parade started. Stayed a few more hours for the parades. Parades are very long. I did not think that Mardi Gras parades would be that long, but they were.
Yeah.
And we had buckets, bags of things that we collected. And I want you to know, everybody talks about beads. It isn't just the beads. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, well I did get some cool beads. But it also, they were throwing red beans and rice. And this, these. And I got socks too and a hat. They threw this. I didn't buy this. They threw it at me. And I also collected a bunch of beads. And in fact, if you're coming to the Salida Camp Carpe Diem, you're going to get some beads. Because not only did they throw me beads like this, we also got thrown bags of beads. I think at some point the guys, probably pretty drunk on the float, just decided, I'm done with this bag. And they would just throw a whole bag of beads. So.
And Steve, it can be a drunk fest. But I think we were really must have gotten into we were in two different spots on 2 different days. And both times we had a fine time. Yeah,
I would say, we were there, the one that we showed first, we were there for 2 daytime ones. We had planned to stay for the nighttime, but after 2 daytime ones that were literally each 3 hours long, we were like, we're done.
Ever, yeah.
So we came back the next day or Monday to go to a nighttime parade because we hadn't been to one.
Right.
And it was the Bacchus parade, which their whole point, right, at the Bacchus parade is to highlight fun, wine and fun. So people, I would say I saw more people drinking at that one, but I didn't encounter anybody that I thought, oh my gosh.
No,
now, we also, remember, they no longer have the parade on Bourbon Street. They have walking parades there, but not any of the floats because they don't fit. On Canal Street, that looked a little bit nuts. We stayed away from that.
We were on St. Charles for our parades, and there were a lot of people, but really everyone seemed to be just getting along and having a good time.
Oh my gosh, getting along. Everybody was, my glasses are crooked. Everybody was getting along so well, and we're so friendly. I think that was one of the things that also surprised me. People were just kind and were sharing. And in fact, there was a guy up on, we were in the way back for the nighttime one because we didn't get there 2 hours early. And there was a guy up on one of those, what do you call those, risers, I guess, like a platform.
Like a big,
and he was catching lots of stuff. He was just throwing it down to us.
Right.
So we had all kinds of stuff.
He would capture something and he was getting all kinds of stuff. And then he just looked down when there was a break, he would just throw stuff to us. I thought he was having fun with that.
I want one of y'all at some point to ask Barry how he earned a rubber chicken.
Yeah, well, that's a story for another time. We don't have enough time here.
But it was lots of fun. And so I would say if you've ever been really nervous about going to Mardi Gras, I highly recommend it. We were actually there the weekend before Fat Tuesday, and it was lovely. And if you really are more nervous about it, then go the weekend before because it's a little less crowded.
Yeah. Let us know if you have any questions about it.
I highly recommend it. And definitely do a food tour. I think now food tours are going to be high on our list for cities when we go to them now.
Yeah, we've done a few of those, and they've always been really nice when we've done them. Really enjoyable. We also, of course, spent a little bit of time with some music. Went to a little bar down on Frenchman Street. Bring that down just a little bit.
Yep.
But we had a lot of fun.
There's always so much to do. We, of course, ate a lot. We had great po' boy. We went to the Sazerac House, which learned a lot of history about the Sazerac House, and that was a lot of fun. Of course, had to buy some alcohol there too.
This was a cool experience. This bar, it was a virtual bar. You sat down at it. This bartender comes up on the screen and welcomes us to the bar and asks us what we want. And she slides a menu over to us, and there's a TV screen below us, and you look at the menu, pick your drink, and she says, "Oh, that's great." She goes back and makes it and brings it to you virtually, and you virtually drink it.
Yeah, if you tap on the table, one sip goes down, then it goes down by another sip. Yep.
So and then she says, "Okay, let's have a selfie," and she poses back there while you do your selfie. So pretty ingenious, but that was a lot of fun. We had a good time at the Sazerac House. I really didn't know what to expect there, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and the fun thing is, the tour was, you can do like a tour, tasting tour, I think, and that costs some money, but we just did the tour through basically what's a museum. But through that, they have 3 stations where they give you a little taste of a cocktail made, of course, with one of the Sazerac products.
Yeah, that was really cool. Highly recommend that.
And it's right on Canal Street.
Yeah, right on Canal. And back to that a little tip on if you do go, everyone wants to go to Bourbon Street. If you've never been, perhaps you should go, but it's just a beating. Highly recommend Frenchman Street, which is just a little bit off the French Quarter and has some really good bars, nightclubs playing music.
It's more like a neighborhood.
Yeah, it's a
more locals hang out there.
So it's gotten more and more popular over the years. So it can get kind of crazy, but that's where that music video came from. It's just really, really lovely down there.
They also have down there in Frenchman Street, is it?
Frenchman Street.
Yeah, Frenchman Street. They have a little, it's basically an alley that has a little art fair, and it's been there every single time we've been there. So it must be every night.
Yeah, really, really cool. Once we left there, we went down to Cajun Heritage. Hmm?
I said, hi, Kenny and
Oh,
April.
hey, Kenny and April. You didn't say it very loudly. So we had a little high school reunion. Just a few of my friends came down and joined us in their RVs, and they stayed in cabins or whatever. We need to do a thing on Cajun heritage.
We have lots.
Really
We have
enjoyed
lots.
our time there.
We have some great video and some other from our trip there last year. Last year, that we definitely want to share with you. In particular, Natalie, who lives about 5 miles away from that campground. We met her last year. They actually came to the Mardi Gras with us. She's delightful, and we have video of her talking. And if you've never really heard a Cajun talk, now you can.
It's great.
So I'm gonna get that together. I really am, and we're gonna post it so y'all can see that.
And Cajun heritage is really nice. It's in
nice.
the heart of the Atchafalaya Basin area, and
Bro Bridge.
Yeah, right outside of Bro Bridge. Really cool area, not too far from Lafayette. Some great food, amazing music in the area. So really cool place to hang out for a week or two.
And Steve, this was fun. This was a little bit of bookish serendipity. I picked up a book. Actually, I guess I got it from the library. Anyway, I picked up this book and started reading it while we were at Cajun Heritage. Didn't know really anything about it except for it was a mystery called Glory Be. Come to find out, the author was from that area. So everything they talk about in the book, she'd mentioned Bro Bridge, she mentioned Lafayette, she mentioned Denham Springs where Barry was from. It was crazy. It was so funny. So anyway, that was just a little bit of serendipity there.
Steve's hanging down to escapees hang out at Cajun Heritage.
Oh, yeah?
That will be a blast.
Oh, last year I feel like we saw, not escapees, but both times we've been there has been a tin can rally. A bunch of airstreams have descended upon us.
So
and, it's a great place.
They have really nice facilities for that sort of thing. So
they play music every Saturday night, and a lot of Saturdays they have cook-offs.
Yeah, cook-off. Yeah,
we were there once for a tongue cook-off. That was my first time to have
beef tongue, and the last time was squirrel
and rabbit.
Was it squirrel?
It was squirrel and rabbit, I think.
Squirrel and rabbit, and some deer or venison. So yeah, really cool place. Highly recommend it. All right, then let's.
I can't read any of the comments because I don't have glasses on because they were crooked.
Yeah, I've put all the relevant ones up there. I put them all up there. So
yeah. Okay.
All right. So let's talk about. Then we headed through Dallas, stayed at this really cool campground. We don't have any pictures of it for
called
you.
The Vineyards.
The Vineyards in Grapevine.
It's just very expensive.
Really nice. It's very, very bougie.
Very expensive.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Kenny and April. Tongue's a little weird. Now, we did have some stew and some other things that had tongue in them, and it was really quite good.
Yeah, the ones that had really slow cooked it a long time, so it didn't have that sort of toughness to it. It was actually not much different than roast beef. Whoa!
Oh, lost our laptop.
But yeah, it's a little different. Yes, definitely. Yeah. So as far as in Dallas, the issue with Dallas is
so many issues.
So, there's not a lot of great campgrounds right in the city. The Vineyards happens to be in Grapevine. Highly recommend visiting Grapevine, especially at the holidays.
Great.
But really, anytime it's a cute downtown, lots going on in it. It's especially if you like wine. There's some really good wine, Texas wine on Grapevine. It's kind of shocking, and they actually have a Grape Fest too there. Mm-hmm. So I think it's in May.
It's a cool little city.
Yeah, it is. And so the Vineyards is just like you could walk to downtown. We did not, but you could. So that's really convenient. There are some other campgrounds. There's one in Flower Mound, I think. That's a nice campground.
Right on a lake.
More like a state park. That one's a nice one. But other than that, Dallas is really kind of devoid of them. There is a new one out by where I grew up in Garland. It's in actually Rowlett. Yeah. But it costs, I want to say it costs $100 a night, and you're basically on a parking lot.
Yeah.
So I don't recommend that one. It's very nice. It's brand new. Yeah. But I don't care to be on just asphalt like that.
Yeah.
A parking lot. It's cement, I guess. It's
concrete. Yeah.
And not a lot of trees or plants. Anyway. Yeah. So yeah, we left Dallas. Now this is our little hidden gem that we want to tell y'all about.
Yes. And this is something we talk about every now and then. You go someplace and you think, okay, this is just a little interim visit. Yeah. We're just going to get through here. Nothing much happening. And several times we've been really surprised when we get there
Yeah.
about how cool it is. But
And
this is one of those experiences.
And this basically happened because we knew we needed to get up to Colorado. And so we were trying to find, and Barry, you know, we don't really travel during the week because Barry's still working. So I needed a place that we could stay for like 1 week. And we had lots of people in our life for a couple weeks. So it was like, you know, we're just going to go someplace that's quiet, get some work done, relax a little bit. That's so right. We were like, what's on the way to Colorado through Oklahoma? We went to go through Oklahoma because of the weather. And just happened, I found some state park that looked interesting, but then I found out it didn't have any campground. So I went, what's the nearest campground to it? It was another state park, the Great Salt Plains.
And who knew that Oklahoma had salt plains?
I didn't. In Jet, Oklahoma.
Yeah. But it was lovely. So there's Big Al in our spot. Now, this is a little misleading. For most of the week, we had this place virtually to ourselves.
Yeah.
And so it was really nice from that perspective.
We just forgot to take a picture until the day, of course, that somebody came and sat right next to us. But that was the first. I mean, we had 1 night, I think, 2 nights, I think, with somebody right next to us. Other than that, there were maybe 2 other campers every now and then, but far from us. We were really kind of lucky. I would say if you book at this place, this was River Road, and I would tell you to pick, if you can, one of the ones in the first probably 8 spots, number 1 through 8. Those are probably the nicer ones. And they did not have sewer, but there is a dump. But we did have water and electricity. Yeah. And we were right on the river.
Yeah, it was really, really neat. Let's see, what do we have? Okay, there's a nice...
That was my sunrise. I was having trouble sleeping, and I got up one morning, and I'm so thankful I did, because those of you that know me know morning is not my best time. And but I got out, and I was walking around, and it was just gorgeous. And it was right, behind the RV. Yeah,
and this is right behind the RV as well.
But it's more sunset.
Yeah. That's a view towards the bridge, which is away from the spillway, but we had some really pretty sunsets and sunrises out there. It was really gorgeous, and that beautiful red rocks.
It just made those rocks really glow. Yeah. It was just amazing. But the other really interesting... Oh, go ahead. I'll tell that.
Yeah, here are the salt plains.
Way over there in the distance. They're not really much to say. Now, we were there early. Apparently in April, there is a spot at the salt plains that you can go and dig for a specific kind of selenite crystal, hourglass selenite, that is only made there at those salt plains. For some reason, the salt plains in Oklahoma create, if you've ever seen selenite's the kind of whitish crystal, and it has, in the middle of it, it has this kind of darker piece that looks like an hourglass.
That's pretty cool.
It was very cool, but we were there too early, so we didn't get to dig. It started, I think, in April, like a week after we got there. They hadn't
started growing yet?
They keep people out of the dig area because it's also a habitat for a certain kind of animal, bird, I think.
Some bird.
So,
like I mentioned, we had some nice sunrises and sunsets there. We were watching them, and one of the features about this place was there were just tons of pelicans. It must have been 100. What is it? A flock of pelicans?
I'm sure. Yes. Well, it was interesting because we're on our way to Jet, Oklahoma, and so I thought, well, I should probably read a little bit about this park that we're going to. And what I read was we happened to be coming during bird migration season. So there was a chance, they said, that we would see in this, whatever I was reading, a lot of birds. And sure enough, it was the biggest flock of flock of pelicans I have ever in my life seen. It was crazy.
Nuts. And
to watch them,
they would make so much noise when they're coming in like this.
They sound like a jet plane coming in and taking off.
And then here they are going out for dinner, and then they all put their heads in at the same time, and then they all come up. And every now and then, someone comes up with a bird, and then with a fish,
and then they fight.
And then, it was crazy.
It was really kind of nuts to watch them. And they were there the whole week we were there. They would leave for a while, and then they come back, a bunch of them. But there are also a lot of blue herons, great herons, and terns.
And we saw
Lots of different.
either and I'm going to ask you in a minute what this was. Either a juvenile eagle. I don't think it was a raptor, but let's see. So anyway, let's walk through these. So this is the Salt Fork of the Arkansas River. So that's the bridge, and this is the entrance to the. Well, that's the view from the bridge. You can see Big Owl off there on the right, and there's the spillway down there on the left from the lake. And then this is the entrance to the park. Well, there's a lake on the other side of the spillway. Okay. And then there's the entrance to the park. There was a playground.
Right across from our RV, actually.
Yeah. Some cool trails.
Nice
some
trails,
of them were paved, asphalt paved, and some of them were just like horse trails or walking trails or what have you. So really cool showers. We didn't take advantage of them.
Nice bathrooms and
really
showers.
Nice bathrooms. Yes. Look very new.
They're all individual.
Yeah,
one person per shower or per bathroom.
This was the opposite of our experience in
total opposite.
Bayou Signal. Nice little chapel out there, outdoor chapel. So really cool. And then going down towards the spillway, that's where most of the pelicans hung out most of the time. That's the close-up of one of the spillways. There's the pelicans. There's the road to the dam. So one of the cool things for me was this was right near a tiny little airport. And so these Air Force trainers were constantly doing touch and goes almost the entire day. So we'd be sitting there in our chairs and watching these planes just go by all the time. Let's see, what is this? Oh yeah,
that's a heron.
Blue heron catching breakfast. And what is that?
Yeah, I don't think it's an eagle because of the way the feathers are. I don't know. I have to do my matching on that. But maybe somebody in the audience knows.
Yeah, maybe yeah. So yeah, I looked briefly. One of the things made it look like a golden eagle. So
right. Yeah,
so I just don't know. Have to do some.
I have to get my Merlin app out. So I have to say that there at the Salt Plains, they had this list. These are all the birds you might see while you're at the Salt Plains.
Crazy.
I know, it's crazy.
That's a lot of birds.
That's a lot of birds. A lot of sandpipers and different kinds of things. So I think I sort of have become a birder. I started keeping track of what I was seeing and looking it up. I have the Merlin app. If anybody is looking for an app for birds, it's a good app. The Merlin app, you can put in there step by step, you describe it, and it gives you a list and like, is this your bird? So I think I'm up to like 30 birds now. So
that's
yeah.
Awesome.
And then when we get to this park, I'll tell you we have more. It's a bird of prey. Yes.
It's a bird of prey.
Do you think it is an eagle? I didn't think eagles, the ends of their feathers did that, but maybe that
one
particular
of the
kind
I said the golden eagle did have that. So
then it may probably is a golden eagle. Which it was
like
definitely a golden eagle is on the list.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then, like I mentioned, lots of nice sunrises and sunsets. We walked up the dam, on top of the dam, for a view of the lake, and it's just a really nice view of the sunset there. So all in all, a really lovely place in Jet, Oklahoma at the Great Plains, Great Salt Lake. Great Plains, Salt Lake, Great Salt Plains.
It's at the Salt Plains.
Yeah, so highly recommend.
Some places call it the Great Salt Plains. It's definitely the Salt Plains.
If you're looking for a place in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, that has great Starlink reception, open skies, and no congestion.
Yeah, because it took you, you went down to Enid, which is the closest big town. Mm-hmm. And I say big town. And that was about 40 minutes. 45 minutes. There wasn't really anything in Jet. There was another town a little bit down the road that did have a grocery store. Luckily, we were all stocked up, so we were good. So yeah, you're not going to Jet to do some sightseeing, except for around the river. And there is a wildlife refuge. We did drive through it. It was underwhelming.
Yeah.
But it was another place where I saw a lot of birds.
That's right. Saw some wildlife.
I got very many checks of birds on my list. So yeah.
That's right.
So it was nice.
So then we made our way from there, eventually made it to St. Vrain State Park outside of Longmont, Colorado.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So which is just off the interstate. We can see the cars a few hundred yards away.
You can hear the cars.
We can hear them, but it's not bad.
It's just like white noise for
Yeah,
me.
it's really
I
white
think it
noise.
does. Based on reviews I was reading, it does seem to bother some people. We're on Pelican Pond,
Mhm.
which is really the closest one to the highway, and I tune it out. It doesn't really bother me.
I don't think it's bad at all. But the cool thing about this state park is there are a series of 5 or 6 little lakes, ponds, lakes.
I think there's more than 6, but yes,
It's just
definitely.
a lot of them right around here. So it's been pretty fascinating to more birding.
Lots of birding.
And just
We have here. We have
cool
definitely
place.
seen eagles. We've seen 2 bald eagles and a juvenile eagle. Actually, the very first day we got here, Barry came in. He's like, "Come look at these birds." They were in the tree right next to us, and they were 2 juvenile eagles.
Yeah.
And then again, herons, more pelicans, some hawks, and lots of osprey. In fact, there's a osprey nest on my bike trail that it looks like they're hatching. What are osprey babies called?
Baby ospreys. I don't know.
Fledglings, babies.
It's really cool. But as you can see, the Rocky Mountain National Park off in the distance, and
We have a really great view of
right off our window here. And it's
Long's
just
Peak.
Long's Peak. We think that's Long's
Yeah,
Peak.
it is.
The Colorado folks will have to. Time for commercial.
Da, 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 da.
Let us know when you're back, Steve. Get a bigger glass of wine. Let's see, where was I? Okay.
Long's Peak.
Long's Peak. So anyway, just really gorgeous. Deborah took some photos around the campground. I've taken some, but I haven't gotten them out of the camera yet. So
Just happened. But they have that building is the community. It has a little community area, actually some tables and stuff for people that are here, and the bathrooms and the showers, because this again is a place that does not have a sewer hookup. We just have electricity. Do we have water? No, we don't have water here either.
Just electricity.
Just electricity. I haven't taken a shower in there. I did go in there and use the restroom and looked at the showers, and they look nice and clean. So if you're one of those kind of people, we actually have been visiting our son a lot, so we just taken showers there. So yeah.
Yeah, so it's really highly recommend it, especially if you're here for a short stay and don't mind not having hookups. It's a beautiful location.
There actually is another loop that way, and I can't think of the name of it, but it does have, like, I want to say 6 or 7 slots with full hookups.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on gravel, and we're on cement.
Yeah, we're on cement.
But it's a gravel spot, but they have full hookups. So you can also look and see they do have some that have full hookups. But there's about 3 different loops of RV spots here. So pretty good space.
Lots of people fishing.
Lots of fishing.
We've seen photographers walking
And
around, groups
of
of photographers walking around. It's got good access to, towns and little cities and whatever.
Longmont's really cute.
Close to
Lafayette's
Denver.
really cute.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really nice. Good, easy to go visit Boulder.
Yeah, because Denver's another one of those big cities. It's really hard to find a good RV spot. There is Cherry Creek down in actual Denver, and then I know there's 2 KOAs on kind of the east side of Denver, but we've never stayed at them. I don't know if the Pishnas know anything about them, but we've never stayed at those, so I can't speak to them, but I do know. And then there's a little bit of boondocking. Yeah, there's a little bit of boondocking, but then Loveland. But Loveland is like 45 minutes from Boulder, so it's over an hour.
If you're trying to get to
Denver.
Boulder, it's not necessarily convenient, but it's a neat place to go.
Oh yeah, it's a nice, cute town.
Yeah, access to Fort Collins if you want to go north and all that. So
for some reason around here, all of the towns start with an L. There's Loveland, Lafayette, Longmont, Louisville. It's probably Louisville here. Anyway, but and they're all pretty cute. Okay, this
Bear Creek Lake Park.
Okay.
In Lakewood.
Always
Morrison. Oh, we love Morrison.
We actually stayed at one campground one time, not far out of. It was just past Golden, almost in Morrison, called Chief.
Oh, that's right. It's going up into the foothills. Chief Hosa.
Yeah, Chief Hosa.
That was really tight,
but really
campground
nice
for us to get into, but super cool.
That was
right
our first year, so we didn't know better. Yeah,
That was really cool. I like that one. I don't know how it would do now we're on Starlink. Maybe we worked off of AT&T there.
I think we did, but
So,
yeah, but it's very convenient as well. And we also stayed one time in Central City. Is that the name of the
yeah,
town?
yeah, yeah.
Pishnas?
Yeah,
Central
KOA
City.
up on the
Yeah,
hill.
KOL, and it was May. It was actually Memorial Day weekend, and it snowed on us.
Yeah.
We had planned a nice
Unexpected.
grilling out with friends, and it snowed on us. So we are all inside.
Oops.
And the campers were there in their tent truck. What do you call it? The tent camper.
Tent on a trunk. Tent camping on a truck.
Yeah, and so surprise, snow. Yeah. So
all right. That's all I had prepared. Anything else you want to talk about besides another plug for CCD?
No. Yeah, I think don't forget that CCD's coming up in just a few. It's what's today? To the 10th.
Today is April 10th.
So yeah, so like 1 month and a few days is Salida, and we hope to see all of y'all there. It'll be awesome.
May
And I
15th
have
to
some
the
Mardi Gras
18th.
beads for you if you come. So that right there, you want to come just for that reason.
We've got 2 of them this year, May 15th through the 18th in Salida. So I would love to see some friends there. We've got a good group coming, and then we've got another one this fall in Cascade, Idaho. Go to campcarpediem.com and sign up and stop adulting, for crying out loud. Look how much fun we're having. I mean, can you stand that? I mean, it's just...
Plus, if you were here last week, then you heard the Pishnas big news about BV Backyard. And if you weren't here, then you go watch it. And so you'll be able to see it if you come to the Slide event.
Yeah.
So we're going to have an event at BV Backyard.
Some amazing picnic tables.
We know
And-
there's great picnic tables.
And probably some damn good
but
beer.
some damn good beer, yes. Excellent beer. Excellent. So, what
All
else?
right.
Anybody in the chat have anything? Did you see that the Pishna said that, yes, the snow in May is typical for Colorado? Today was gorgeous. Today is like almost 80
Yeah.
degrees, I think, and just a gorgeous day. The mountains are really showing. Like a couple days early this week, you could barely see the mountains because of the snow and the haze. But it's funny because when we first got here it was freezing,
Yeah.
and now it's for
Gorgeous.
sure spring and summer.
Gorgeous.
Yay, baby! Yeah. So is Steve back? Do you have a full glass of wine now, Steve? So you can cheer for us as we probably sign off. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else. So let us know in the comments if you have some favorite parks that you think everybody should go to. We're specifically looking. We are. We'll be heading up to Idaho for the fall, so we'll be looking for campgrounds along the way from here in Salida to Idaho.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So, thanks for being here until we can see you in person at CCD in Salida.
Absolutely, or around the virtual campground.
Bye.
Oh, what's Steve said? Howl campfire is supposed to be delivered. Oh, exciting! Is that why you have the wine to cheer for it?
Iced tea this time.
Oh, iced tea.
Good for
Oh,
you.
you're better than me. If I did iced tea right now, I'd be wide awake until midnight.
Bye,
Okay,
everybody.
apparently we're leaving. Bye-bye.